All right. Oh, I'm trying to move some people around. Otherwise, it looks like I'm staring off into space. I thought I was adding people correctly. Okay. Hi, everybody. The chat's going off. I guess there's drama going on Rumble right now. I guess the emotes aren't working. So we're just going to wing it. Hi, everyone. We already have YouTube added. I am Molly Sleuth. I am from the hellhole of Los Angeles. I was a detective there for many years, and now I live in the beautiful, natural Midwest, and I just like to start shit on the internet. And I am joined by old friends and new friends. So, Randy, why don't you go first? Tell everybody who you is.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I'm joined by Molly Sleuth, my best friend and former partner from LAPD. I'm an ex-cop, former Marine. And I'm super happy to have my brother-in-law. And you guys won't guess which one out of the two guys on the screen is my brother-in-law. But anyways, better not be. That is it. I'm just a follower of truth. No sides.
Nice. And on to another Marine, Red Pill Preacher.
That's right. I'm Dr. Dave Roach. I'm Marine. I'm Randy's brother-in-law, as he so eloquently put it. The most devilishly handsome person on the program tonight.
Outside myself.
Outside of the Baron of Brown Springs, the mayor of Tinseltown, DeAndre Lamar Dawes.
This is your introduction, bro.
I just introduced myself. I'm just old hillbilly.
Well, since my brother so graciously introduced me partially, my name is D. Doss. I'm an author and the host of the Supernatural Truth, the Late Show and Unfiltered with my brother, the handsome Red Pill Preacher, Dr. David Roach. Yeah, happy to be here, a part of this panel. And I'm the arch nemesis of the guy right there above me.
Yeah, I think the arch nemesis. He likes you.
He's Superman.
He likes you. So wherever you're viewing, we're on Rumble. We're on a couple of Rumbles. We're on YouTube. If you go into the description, you can also see Randy's channel, Randy Agard, and also DDoS's Supernatural Truth on YouTube, which is fascinating. You do a lot of cryptozoology and just conspiracies. You're a wealth of information.
I sincerely appreciate it.
Yeah, so this is the second time that you've done my show, so thank you so much for that. And the first time, it was very exciting. It was very heated. We're talking about Epstein. And then the chat just got crazy in the comments section. You have a lot of people that feel very passionately about you, and that is all I'll say about that.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Phil Passon? No, just my country cousins came out the woodworks. That's all.
All right. Can D boost his mic by about 10%? We're getting
Is this
that
better? Mic check. 1, 2. Welcome to Molly Sleuth. Make sure you click subscribe and support Molly Sleuth and all the great work she's doing here on YouTube and Rumble. That better?
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Thank you for that. I never asked that. I mean, you've got a bigger channel than me, of course. I've only got, just a little smattering of people that found me. But I always find it so awkward to ask people, could you give me a thumbs up if you've watched this? I don't know.
Molly Sleuth does great work, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button if you're watching. I'll be sharing this video over all of my social media networks, and I suggest you do the same. Help spread this channel. We're wanting to hit 2,000. She's a little bit over 1,000, but I think by the end of this week we can get to 2,000. But we're going to need your help.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. Because I don't know how it is, and I don't really play the game. I don't post anywhere. I feel like
you do good work, Molly. You do good work. You're very astute. You're a wealth of knowledge yourself. You deserve to have a big channel. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it for you. I'll take care of your advertising.
Don't even worry about it. He's got you.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh my gosh, this is taking a twist. And yes, your mic is better. Circle of One. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
So there's every week it's just news story after news story. And so I know that everybody's got stories planned, but I kind of wanted to start with this, with these two men that adopted this little boy, surrogate. I'm sorry. It's a surrogate. And that is really important. So these two husbands got a surrogate. They went on to whatever, GoFundMe, and they got funds, thousands of dollars donated to them because we want to buy a baby. And they cannot adopt. Are they in Virginia?
I thought they're in California. Let's see real fast.
I don't remember what state they're in, but whatever state they're in will not allow them to adopt because then you have to do background checks on the parents. And one of these dads is a registered child predator. But it's kind of worse than that, though, because not only was he convicted felon of trying to be disgusting with children, but he was a teacher, and this was his student. So in California, that makes it like a higher crime, at least for in terms of charging and penalties, because you've got somebody that has been entrusted in an entrusted position. So that could be a doctor, a teacher, a police officer, whatever. This wasn't just some kid that he saw at the park. And so that makes it different within the law, that he accidentally, I'm sure this was all just totally accidental, that he sent this boy over 12,000 text messages.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it was just a big old misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding. Nothing to see here.
Right. Nothing to see here. So in 2019, I believe, he was sentenced to 2 years in prison. But as it happens, they decided, a couple months, you can go. That's cool. Like, what are sentences? What's the point? And Randy, you have a story coming up with a crime that goes a little bit higher as well, that we're seeing what happens and how we're becoming this lawless state because there's no consequences anymore. And you can wag your finger all you want, but like, I don't know if you guys were spanked when you were kids, but I sure was. And like, you didn't do that again.
I was whipped like a rented mule.
And now look at you. Look how like in line you are.
No,
Exactly.
he's not.
I give the appearance. But I found something for you, Molly. It was Pennsylvania. This is from Newsweek.
Pennsylvania. Yes, you're right. I'm so sorry. Pennsylvania
prosecutor is calling on state lawmakers to close a loophole that allowed a registered sex offender to become a parent via surrogacy. That makes it even more interesting to me.
Well, so I would even argue the term parent. Like you might be a legal guardian, but I don't know. I just feel like buying a baby.
I agree with you. Yeah.
Buying a baby is kind of depraved anyway, but to get around a loophole to have access to kids. Now, so this part of the story I think is important and might horrify you as well. So 2019, he gets sentenced to 2 years and he gets let out early. And by 2021, which he should have still been in prison, he finds himself married to this man. That guy, he also likes kids because he's a second grade teacher. And so even though the first guy
Objection, Your Honor. That's speculative. Just because he's a second grade teacher doesn't mean he likes kids.
Listen, there's no way I would be a second grade teacher. I don't like kids that much.
Oh, that's terrible. Kids are great.
I'm not saying he likes kids. I'm just saying he likes them more than I do.
Molly, you're awesome.
Yeah.
So they're together now since 2021, I believe.
Yep.
And they decide, let's buy a kid. And there are statistics. I won't go into them because if I'm 0.25% off, then the world clutches their pearls in horror. But there's an overwhelming percentage or disproportionate number of gay men who get a boy baby. And I don't know. I guess like my sister, I guess I shouldn't dime her out, but I think she wanted a girl because she would relate to her more and everything. But now she has this great relationship with her son. But I think she was initially a little bit bummed because you think about, oh, I want him to be just like me. But so these guys buy this baby. Now, when they did the GoFundMe for people to donate money to them with their sob story of like, well, there's no way we're in love, but there's no way we can have our own baby. So of course we have to have a surrogate. They failed to disclose on this GoFundMe that one of them was a registered child predator. Because that would have made some people potentially, and if I donated money, I'd be on GoFundMe going, hell no, give me my money back. I did not donate it for a child to be touched. Potentially. I mean, potentially, of course. But everything is risk assessment in this world. And so I guess I wanted to talk about this story because there's just so many elements to it, from like, are children just a commodity that we can purchase? I feel like that's kind of disgusting.
Well,
Go, D.
Who you want to go first?
Go
ahead.
You go first.
Yep,
All
go
right.
ahead.
So, Molly, I'm not Karnaki or a gypsy or a fortune teller, but you don't have children, do you? See, maybe I'm a fortune teller, but I can tell you this from somebody who has a daughter. Number one, adoption is a great thing. There's a lot of parents out there that can't, like you're talking about your sister. There's a lot of parents out there that can't have children. Surrogacy is a great thing if you got that bread. If you got money to be able to say, hey, lady, we can't carry our child because my wife doesn't want to mess up her figure, whatever the case is, that's a great thing too. But this thing about it, you have to have I'm a statistician. Like you said, people will slay you if you don't have the right statistics. I'm a statistician. I love statistics. They can't find one place in history where two men or two women have successfully raised a child. I mean, I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, folks. I'm sure people got nieces, nephews, whatever. But I'm talking about if you go back in history, it's not a societal norm, is what I'm trying to say. So the simple fact that these people, I think there's a lot of crimes being broken. You know, I haven't spent any time in a police station on the other side with a badge. But that taking money under false pretenses, I think, is against the law. So that guy knew that he was a criminal. He knew he was a sexual predator. And he's receiving money under false pretenses. He wasn't even supposed to be around children. There should be charges brought up. Am I right, Molly?
Well, so that's a loophole, though, because although part of his parole for being a convicted felon is that he is not to be alone with children, he could still go with his husband to second grade class for open house night, and he could still have a little baby home alone with him.
But how?
Because it's his baby now, because he paid for it. And this is the crazy part of it, Dee, because the mom, I don't know what you call her, the oven that procured that made this baby. I mean, like, it gets, I don't know whose egg, whose whatever, this Franken baby, this poor little thing.
A surrogate is what they call it, Miss Molly.
Okay, so the surrogate, she has to go get psychological evaluation before she's allowed to carry the baby.
That's right.
But this is the crazy part, because, I mean, obviously, if you give birth and you're gonna feel some sort of a way to just like, I just invested all this time on this baby and made this perfect little thing, and here you guys go because you paid for it. So that's why they do the psychological counseling. But the thing that's crazy to me is that mom surrogate, she's never going to be in the baby's life. So you don't have to worry about her psychological situation because she's not changing diapers. She's not the one that's going to issue punishments. She's not the one that's going to teach to tie the shoes. She's not the one who's going to be alone with the kid for the first 4.5 years, however long before you go to school.
There are some mental illnesses that are hereditary, though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but so, but we don't know if she's the egg of the baby or if she's just the oven. So I don't know that.
What? Enough? Like, I'm confused. I'm a dumb country boy, as you know. So, like, the egg or the oven? What do you mean? Like,
so I don't know if she donated the egg for this embryo to make the baby, or if they took somebody else's egg and sperm and made a baby and then put it in her.
Oh, okay.
And then she just cooked it, but she didn't make it. This is where this Frankenstein shit gets crazy, right? But here's the other disgusting element to it. So you have these two guys that have decided to be in a relationship where they can't organically have a kid together, but they want one, and they both really like kids. And so it kind of brings apart a conversation about like eugenics and stuff. What if your sexual proclivity is you like little Asian girls, and so you get a surrogate to make you one so you can take it home with you, and now you have one? Like, this can get really dark.
Well, that's
the most likely scenario, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
Molly, you're very astute. Like, that's probably what's been going on. Hit him with a red pill.
So I believe that exactly what Molly's saying. What you have here in a nutshell is probably most likely two pedos that know that they can inroad around the law. They can knock up some 304, and then they can bring home the child and molest at their leisure. Is that about cover it?
Oh my God.
Is that at least a possibility? That's at least a possibility, right? And knowing that they've already been deceptive, having it funded on GoFundMe, they have a proclivity to lie anyway. So what's the stretch here? these sickos, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Am I not right?
You're right, brother. That uncut dope.
See, bullshit ain't nothing but chewed up grass, as my brother likes to eloquently say. So these people can sit up there and claim that they're Mr. and Mr. Magoo over here, but they have a relationship that is an administration of death. Two mules can't produce. So what they have to do is they have to off-site this operation. Now, whether this chick is her egg or not is irrelevant, okay? Because she is just a vessel at this point. No, so her going for psychological testing means jack and shit.
She's called the carrier, bro. Let me be the voice of reason for all these savages here, ladies and gentlemen. If a woman has her egg and she has her egg put into another woman's body, and then that sperm is then somehow injected into that woman's body, that woman is then called, in medical terms, the carrier, not the oven, not the whatever anybody else wants to call it.
Bust down.
A carrier sounds like your patient zero on a virus, but at any rate, I don't know if it was her egg.
We have the carrier on board right now.
So Christopher's in the chat and reminds us of Woody Allen, who was
Woody Allen.
Woody
Allen raised a girl from the time she was 3 years old as his own daughter. I've read the son, his actual son's biography. Like, you need to read this book. How's this guy not in prison? He raised this girl from 3 years old, Soon Yi, and married her in her early 20s. This guy's some nasty old man.
He's some kind of freak show pervert that needs the edge of the sword. That's the truth of it. Yeah. And I'm glad it didn't happen in Virginia, because if D and I might go down there, we ain't above knocking on somebody's door. You understand what I mean?
Our Bible says not to a priest should not wield the sword in vain.
That's right.
Right, brother? All right. I thought so.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, with a condition of his parole being that he's not allowed to be alone with kids, and now you have a non-verbal child in your home that, I mean, they're posting it on the internet, but do you remember those other two dads that were posting their kid or kids on the internet, and they both got charged with touching them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially since he was a teacher, he was probably charged. I don't know what Pennsylvania law, if it's, I imagine it's similar to Virginia since it's a Commonwealth state, that he is charged at a higher standard because he had a position of authority over that children. Just like you can't be a corrections officer or a police officer and molest or rape somebody in your custody, even if they give you willful consent, because that means that they don't have consent It's not implied because you have authority over that person.
Yeah.
Am I right down the road here?
Look at all the cops shaking their heads. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want, if I could, Miss Molly, I just want to take a moment. Pammy Rutledge, Sarah from 74, Circle One, Molly Brenner. And if I missed your name, it wasn't intentional. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on this channel. Help our
Molly
sister
Brenner
out here. Help her grow the channel. That's what we're looking to do tonight for this great discussion. I know you're enjoying it as much as I am. Thank you, Molly.
Yeah, Pammy's making fun of me in YouTube because this is my house. I don't ask me to turn this camera around because it's all boxes and bullshit behind me. But I found my nicest wall, and I don't know that I'll be broadcasting from this room again. But I have internet, and I bought a used computer off Walmart. I took the chance, and I bought a refurbished whatever it is off of
Refurbished
Walmart.
computers are awesome.
It works.
They really are.
It works.
Somebody sent me some
probably
notes.
has viruses.
Molly, you guys were all former police officers. This is what gets me.
Yes.
While this is even a discussion, a former sex offender can't even be around children. I don't understand this loophole. How is it that the burden of responsibility falls to the adoption agency or whatever? You know,
But there
basically
was no
the state.
adoption agency. Adoption is not legal in Pennsylvania. And so they went around it by like buying it. But now let me ask you a question, Dee.
Okay.
What if it was a straight guy and he was touching some kid, whatever, sending 12,000 accidental text messages of lewd nature to some kid. And then he makes a baby with his girlfriend.
He'd be just as big a pervert as
just a bigger pervert as
I mean,
there's not sex that makes a baby and sex that doesn't make a baby. There's just sex that could make a baby.
What?
So you're saying this pedo in Pennsylvania, did he actually contribute to baby batter himself, or is this what happened?
I don't know that. I don't know where they got the batter from. I don't know if it involves any of the three people.
So you're saying if a sex offender, I understand where Molly's come from. I think
sure, I do
you're
too.
saying that there are people that are intentionally going and making babies for the purposes of sexual abuse.
That's a story as old as time.
Yeah, that's what me and my brother deal with. Those are that's satanic ritual abuse.
Ritual abuse, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. We've been dealing with this since time immemorial. I've rescued victims of it personally and nursed them back to health psychologically. My brother, your brother over here, your bestie over here, the homeless man in the corner up top.
Yeah, your girlfriend.
He has seen it firsthand. He's met some of these people that me and his sister have rehabilitated. Dee has seen it. Dee and I both together on the phone have talked people down off the ledge, have been victims of this very thing and this very despicable crime that we're talking about.
Many times.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so disgusting about the last presidency, because instead of going through all that time to cook one in an oven, just import them by the masses with no name, no birth certificate, no worries. Come on in. And
Well, now they're just going a different route.
Well, so we still have so many missing kids that came in, and like, who's going to be an advocate for those kids? And Biden had that fake, he had one person that was allegedly answering phone calls. Like, when you let these little kids in and they're like, I'm here all by myself and I don't speak the language and I don't have any parents. Oh, okay. Bring out the roster. Okay, you go to okay, this pedo's house. Have a good time. And here's a phone number if you need us. And so 65,000 calls to this call center went unanswered.
Well, let's go back further than that. We're on Rumble tonight, so I can go ahead and speak my mind. Pizzagate. You remember how they sent an actor into this place? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I think I'm speaking into a crowd of like-minded people. When a known actor goes into this pizza place and shoots at the ground, they call him, what do they call him? Like some domestic terrorist who was hyped up by the Pizzagate controversy. That man is not in jail today. He wasn't in jail a year after he did that. See, they had to have this. They had to check it out. They had to have this event to take public perspective off of the truth. You see, I'm a Christian, folks. I think anybody, if they heard me speak, knows that. when the devil, and I believe the devil is a living being, and he's at the head of all this, because nobody's smart enough to get away with all this, Molly. They're just not. You have systematic, ritualistic child abuse that's been going on way past the Biden administration. You can go back to George H.W. Bush, when there were boys who were brought into the White House, and they could describe to an FBI, the head of the field office of Los Angeles, as a matter of fact, they could describe to him parts of the White House the public is not allowed to go into. Why were those young boys in that part of the White House? Why? Because they were little call boys. It's as simple as that. So now they've used this system, and it blows my mind that there's no sort of like, what do you call it? Like background checks or anything, whether it's 2 men, 2 women. I'm of the belief that a man and a woman should be raising a child, but whatever. I'm just an old country boy Christian, right? Who knows how the world works and how it should work. But when you get 2 men who are adopting children, I think a man and a woman should have a background check to see if they're sexual predators. That's just common sense. And when you can go out and bum up money to buy a child, that's slavery. Is it not?
But that goes around it, right? It is. I mean, what
sex
is
trafficking?
Sex trafficking.
Instead of sex, what if they just want farm hands? What if they just want a
slavery, which is against the law
for dad?
But you're
open borders. Open borders.
So that is the loophole, though, because you do have to go through that background to adopt, and this is so backwards, though, because that is a baby that doesn't have anyone. That mom said, I can't do it. Yeah. And you are like scrutinizing, like, are you good enough for this baby that doesn't have anyone? But then you can just go make a new one. Like, forgive me for my callousness. Randy's about to laugh. So everybody look at him. But it's like if you go to the pound to get a dog, or if you go to a breeder to get a dog,
Jesus.
Like we have differentiated that, like, it's better to get the pound puppy because you shouldn't make more when there's already some at the pound. Okay.
Well, there's a big difference between a dog and a person, because
I know, but there isn't, though, because what I'm saying
is because man carries the image of God.
But if you have babies that are up for adoption, they are unwanted and extra in that way.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's particulars. What if I told you I was adopted? I was adopted because my parents were older, and and my birth mother went on to have a successful life as a registered nurse. She just had too many kids, and her husband died. So I don't think that summing her up as an oven and a breeder and all that kind of stuff is very fair.
But we do know that does happen.
And I'm bullshitting, but still, I got you.
I would love to be adopted. Being adopted is so exciting because you know that they wanted you, they picked you. You weren't an oops. You weren't, let's.
Well, then it is an oops if you're comparing them to puppies at a pound.
No, my point of that is
you hurt my feelings. You broke my heart, Molly.
No, this is what I'm saying. You have babies that have already been made that need a home. And you're overlooking those because you want this specific one made just for you. And that's what these guys did. And the reason is because those babies are scrutinized more. You have to make sure those parents are good, but I can just go buy one. No,
you know what? You're absolutely right. We're getting lost in the weeds. You are right. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
But you know what, Molly, I'm going to tell you something. I'm from Oklahoma. Half the state, because of a Supreme Court ruling, half the state went back to treaties from the 1800s. Half my state now belongs to Native American tribes that have no more than 20 some odd thousand members of their tribe. They literally police half my state of Oklahoma. Now, let me ask you this. How many Native American children go missing in the state of Oklahoma?
Nuts.
Yeah.
They won't tell you because they do not keep a number. And it's more than Oklahoma citizens' children.
Yeah.
I find that awful crazy, especially seeing as how they're these sovereign citizens who are only answer to the federal government. You see what I'm saying? This has been going on, like my brother said, since time immemorial, since Jesus left Chicago. And you're on the right track, because these people not only breed these children for child abuse, but they go to these Native American tribes, and I'd about to say that they have been since the founding fathers.
Molly, what if I told you, Molly, that people in the occult world, they breed children from girls that they call breeders? You're exactly using the right vernacular. They call them breeders, and they breed them for the sole purpose of ritual sacrifice for the coven.
So how do you even begin to watch over that and ensure that it doesn't happen?
Yeah,
you can't.
Because Russ Dizdar gave us how to.
I'm talking about in a legal sense, you can't, because half of them are in on it. You got judges, politicians, doctors, lawyers. You have people from every class of society who are in the coven. So there's systems in place to protect perpetrators. We're watching it unfold up there with this bullshit on Capitol Hill right now. They're covering for each other.
Do you remember the
Satanic Panic? Why the list ain't out? The list ain't out because everybody's on it.
Everybody.
You understand?
Everybody.
The majority of people are on it.
Yes. Everybody of importance on Capitol Hill.
That's why you ain't gonna get it.
So as a woman, I could be pregnant for several months. I'm only going to show for a few. And then I don't have a baby afterwards. And I just make up some story about, oh, I gave it up for adoption, or I had a stillbirth.
Yes.
Or whatever,
But if you're growing up,
nobody looks into it.
If you're growing up on a reservation where you don't have a birth certificate, you were born on the res, you'll die on the res.
Yes.
And you already weigh 300 pounds because they're keeping you in a neighborhood where you're to yourself and feeding you like an old sow. Then then nobody's going to be asking any questions.
No.
All of a sudden, some limousine's going to pull up, and that girl's going to get in it, and she's going to come back 3 days later, and she'll have lost a little bit of weight. And that's all there is to it. And that's an avenue, and this is a dangerous topic I'm talking about, folks. That's an avenue that a lot of people haven't looked into. These reservations, and all native reservations, are only governed by their tribe in liaison. Not even by the federal government, but in liaison with the federal government. So if you go to, I'm sure there's native tribes in California, like the Hoopa tribe. If you go and ask the Hoopa tribe, like, hey, what's it look like the women and children that go missing a year? They're going to look at you awful funny, and you better get some yonder, as we say down in Oklahoma, pretty fast, because they ain't going to appreciate those type of questions. But what I was saying is, do you remember the Satanic Panic of the 80s?
Yes.
No.
You don't? All right. Well, the Satanic Panic was, there were a lot of children that came up missing. There was a daycare right outside of Los Angeles, and I believe the San Fernando Valley. I may be wrong in that, but there was a daycare center where little kids were saying that they went into a bathroom in their daycare. The toilet moved out of the way. They would go in a tunnel to the house next door, and they were flown into a redwood forest. Over 30 children gave corroborating stories. Now, these are all children under 9 years old. You can look this up. What's the FBI director's name, brother? I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Back then?
Yeah, the one who blew this wide open.
Oh, that would be the guy who wrote Tom Wedge. He wasn't an FBI director, but he was an FBI agent. He wrote a book called The Satan Hunter.
No, not him. This was an FBI director. I'll find it for you. But nevertheless, these people were arrested. They were tried. And they found that these kids could not be witnesses because they were children. They just made it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And when the people died, because they were older couple, and they found that they were Satanists. And Gunderson, Ted Gunderson. God bless your soul, Christopher 048. Ted Gunderson was the man's name. So Uncle D, he's not just fall off his rocking chair. So Ted Gunderson, he went to that daycare after these people died, and guess what he found in that bathroom and in between that house? A tunnel that had been filled in. Those kids were telling the truth the entire time. This is 30 some odd kids who didn't have justice, and more kids that went into that daycare because they said, hey, these are kids. They're making this stuff up. This has been going on since Jesus left Chicago.
And so bringing it back to these two dads that bought this baby, that baby's not even going to be able to be verbal to say anything about how, if anything is to happen to the baby, and there's no corroborating evidence of anyone that's going to come in and go, yeah, I went to the forest too. This kid is all alone. Nobody's going to check on this kid to make sure that the diaper changes aren't lingering a little bit too long, or that they aren't taking some extra photos of the kid. that kid is alone, and it's just heartbreaking to me.
The cycle of systematic abuse. And there's a high likelihood with this particular scenario you're speaking of that will be that kid's future. It just looks that way on the surface with a cursory inspection. I mean, I don't know these two degenerates' mindsets other than that they're degenerates, but
They're sodomite degenerates. That's exactly what they are. And I don't care who thinks what of it. What are you laughing at, Randy? This is serious business. Why don't you calm down?
Yeah, the trajectory of this child's life is not starting out good. You understand what I mean?
It's really not.
There's a higher probability that they'll be abused than not. Let's say it like that.
But let me everything I've read, there was no evidence that the child had been abused. The controversy was that one of the fathers was a sexual deviant, that he had been he wasn't even this. It keeps going back to the same point to me. How is it that it's like Molly said, this was slavery. This was, hey, I got $2,000. Let me buy your child. Okay. The person who sold that child and both of these dudes, I don't care if it was just one that was a sexual deviant, the other one too. All of them should be in Stony Lonesome turning big rocks into little rocks, if you ask them.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I think, so not to get too dark, probably too late, but it's entirely possible that the baby is not of an age that they prefer at this time.
Well, no, that's why you mold it and grow it and formulate its personality to like what you like. I mean, you can normalize anything. They can have that child come up and normalize that predatory behavior in that child where they think it's normal and they don't even think it's abuse.
That's exactly right.
Right. Yeah. And so, yeah, you could raise the kid, like Biden allegedly showered with his daughter inappropriately.
Is there an appropriate way to shower with your 11-year-old daughter? You know what I mean?
11.
I was a single dad, and it never occurred to me I'm dirty. I just worked a 12-hour shift. My kid's taking a shower. Let me just jump in there with her to save time.
Yeah.
No, exactly. That's just not what you do.
11?
My dad wouldn't even come in the room.
Yeah, she was 11 years old, according to her.
Yeah. And so my dad wouldn't even come in the room when we used to take a bath. He would just say, keep singing, so that he knew our head was above water. We had to keep singing in the tub. And then a towel would come in the door, and he wouldn't even come in. But
let me tell you, I told my daughter when she was a little girl, when I was changing diapers, when she moved from diapers to being a big girl and using the potty, I was like, let me tell you something. You're going to be a big girl one day. And you don't let any man see you naked, not even daddy, because you can go to the potty by yourself now. And any man that says that they need to, you come tell daddy, and daddy will take care of it.
No doubt you would.
That's what a good father would do. You know what I mean? Taking a bath with a shower with an 11-year-old girl. Are you kidding me? That's a sexual
carrying by the handle.
Exactly.
So Pammy is in the chat on YouTube and says, today on TMZ Live, they reported about a developer who bought Epstein Island and is now opening the island resort for business. Totally disgusting and sick.
Well, that sounds like they got Epstein's replacement for the blackmail operation.
Yeah, I mean, if you already have the infrastructure there, it sure is easier to just
just move
buy the bar with the liquor license and open a business.
I mean, right there on the island next door, Joe Biden's brother owns it.
Yep.
Really?
And it's got a damn submarine hangar on it.
And guess who has a submarine license, brother?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Ghislaine Maxwell. That's exactly right.
No way.
Oh, yes.
Yes, sir, bro. Her daddy was a hero in the British Royal Marines. Guess what department? The intelligence department, who liaison with, guess what? Mossad.
And he was buried on the Mount of Olives, for God's sake.
Yeah, he was buried on the Mount of Olives. You know how crazy that is to me, bro? And people say, "Oh, well, there's no links to Israel. You're a racist." No, I'm a realist. I'm unfortunately, I can see facts and delineate them as a reasonable intellectual human being.
So Circle of One had a good one. I think it would be like Area 51. Once the cover is blown, it would be stupid to keep UFOs there. Epstein Island would just be a lame tourist destination.
Well, guess what, Circle of One?
Good point.
There's aliens at Area 51, and there's still aliens there today, even though that people tried to crash the gate. You remember that? And guess what? They had all sorts of nasty, nefarious women being sold and little girls and children. And I guarantee you, mark my words, within the next few years, we're going to be hearing something else about some other asshole at that island. These people are they're the paymasters, folks. You have to understand. We have our eyes open. You see, we're a small section of the population of the United States of America. We can be written off as conspiracy theorists and the fringe, the tinfoil hat guys. They can write us off. We can tell all the truth we want, but they can use their algorithms to segregate us. This channel right here should have 10,000, 100,000 subscribers because you have people on here talking about relevant things that are the truth. But they can segregate us, lift up this pop nonsense that means nothing, and keep the wheels rolling, just like they always have. And it's easier now because it's technology.
Yep.
It's technology.
So what do you think? What do you think about the potential that people are saying there's a rumor that Trump might pardon Maxwell?
If he does
I think
that,
it's a high likelihood.
Well, Molly, what do you? I mean, honestly, you know what I think about it because we talked about it on the show that we were on. You know what I'm saying? If they go with the narrative that they're going with right now, me and you were the only ones on the panel that said they would have to, right? Because if there was no crimes, if there was no Epstein list, then there's no crime.
Well, okay, so she was convicted of trafficking to him.
Basically taking women over state lines for the purposes of prostitution. And you know, and I know that's a 2 to 5 year sentence. And she's been in there a little bit longer than that, having no priors.
Well, but I mean, the disproportionate sentencing happens.
But I mean, she had no priors, and her daddy owned the publishing company that put out all the textbooks for every college in the United States. So when you have a woman that's gone past the what would you call it? The rate which she should have been sentenced, because she's just basically it's a minor sex trafficking crime is what you would be charged with. Then they don't have any. Not only do they have to release her, but then they have to pardon her because they charged her with something that doesn't exist. Because if there's no client list, then she wasn't. She was busted for trafficking to him. Right.
If she testifies,
women across state lines,
it was a million other people. Those are other crimes that she wasn't convicted
now,
for.
Well, that's why she's getting immunity. That's why they gave her.
What we know and what went through court, and they're not always equal. And so
that's true. But basically, what they're saying is she's moved women, not even young girls, but moved women, because that's what came out in the court. Everything that I saw, they were all in their 20s or whatever. I think some were 18, 19. But she's moved women for the purposes of prostitution. People get that charge in Oklahoma all the time. They're out in the streets a year later, dribbling a basketball down at your local park. But she's been in there for how many years? Yeah, they're going to have to exonerate her and pardon her. But me and you and everybody in this chat knows that this woman was the right hand of a rank devil who had children on his island and brought politicians, actors, actresses, heads of state, heads of schools, universities to this island for the specific purposes of engaging in illicit sex with minors. I'm not talking about like 16, 17 years old. I'm talking about 11, 10 years old. Yeah, exactly. We all know that. But now they're doing this revisionist history. So in keeping with that revisionist history, they have to put it to this minor crime of moving women across state lines for the purposes of prostitution, which is this right here. That's what that is.
Well, because they didn't get.
God, I hate that woman, Molly.
I know, but they didn't. But so there's what we know and there's what you can prosecute. And as somebody, I've filed thousands of felony cases in court as a detective for LAPD. And there are things that you're like, gosh, I know it, but I can't get that witness to come in, or that guy he says he doesn't have the video now or whatever. There's a lot of crime. So I always used to say, there's what you did. There's what was reported. There's what the
Molly, you don't think there's
detective.
proof? You don't think there's conclusive?
But I mean, they just found all those. Cash Patel just found all those burn bags with all the other information from way back when. So
Russiagate.
When you have a representative of the United States who's in a position of prestige, saying that there's tens of thousands of hours of child porn connected to this. That wasn't a hyperbolic statement. That was given to what she believed to be a regular American citizen in a
Al
casual setting.
Capone. They couldn't get Al Capone.
Randy,
Good, Randy. Yeah.
you chime in with some. Okay, tell me how that equates to what we're talking about right now.
He murdered lots of people. He was the criminal kingpin of Chicago.
How did they?
They had to get him on the IRS charges, the taxes.
Why didn't they get Al Capone? Let's break this down.
Because what Molly said. There's what you know, and there's what you can prove.
They didn't get Al Capone because Al Capone went into black neighborhoods, poor neighborhoods, opened up soup kitchens. He paid off people's mortgages. He had, every time Christmas and Thanksgiving came, he had a turkey and all the fixings for all the poor people. So if you see somebody who's associated with Al Capone, who you know is associated with them, machine gunning some other gangster who don't mean nothing to you, and the cop comes around and says, "Hey, I heard there was a shooting in this neighborhood." I'm gonna say, I don't know nothing about no shooting, officer. Al Capone's a good, upstanding citizen.
You proved my point.
It's not the same thing with Epstein. Everybody knew. There was quotes that go all the way back to 2002 with Trump saying, "Oh well, yeah, I've partied with Epstein. I hear he likes pretty girls just like I do. He likes some a little bit on the young side." This was in.
But everybody knew Capone was a gangster.
Right.
Everybody knew Capone was a gangster, but what did Epstein do? You ever see? Is there footage of Epstein giving out turkeys on the poor part of town or in black neighborhoods? No, there's not. Is there evidence that Al Capone did that? Yes, there is. There's a difference.
Yeah, but
Al Capone
he also
knew what Palm's degrees. He was paying off police officers' pensions because the city was in shambles. He was paying off mortgages for police officers. Let me tell you something. Epstein.
And what was Epstein doing?
What was Epstein doing? He was
laundering money.
People, bro. He was
laundering money for politicians. Same thing.
Laundering money, and then he would bring him to this island after he established that relationship. He would say, "Hey, you know what? This is a beautiful deal. Why don't you come to my island? Beautiful. I'll come to your island. You got a private. I got a private plane. Are you kidding me? I'm Epstein." They go to Epstein's island. They mess around. They go with a 16-year-old girl that looks like she's 26, and before they leave, say, "Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me show you something. I had a camera in that room. I know you didn't know that, but you see this girl? She's hot, isn't she? She ain't 26. She's 16. Blackmail and greasing palms are two different things. Al Capone would grease the palms of people. He would be the hero of the common man. Epstein didn't give a shit about being nobody's hero. He was a blackmailer, and that was his operation. And he was put on that operation, I believe, by MI6 or Mossad or the CIA or all three.
All three. Because guess what? His father,
the devil's in the details.
His father and Robert Maxwell were business partners.
Imagine
he would like to get that thought.
Imagine that. But see, these facts,
Ghislaine's dad.
Details matter.
Yeah, details matter. Molly's a detective. She knows this. Details very important. And Ghislaine Maxwell's dad is Mossad. Ghislaine is Mossad. So by de facto, you really think he ain't clapping Maxwell's cheeks and he's not Mossad too? No way.
Right, but
so you have Al Capone, who was a gangster in a town, but then you have Epstein, who's not. When you hear him come up and you look at all the facts of the matter, you have people involved in every secret service intelligence organization in every first world nation on planet Earth. Mossad, the Egyptian Secret Service, the CIA, the FBI. I mean, so it's a little bit different. You got some small town gangster who's taking care of the poor people so the poor people can take care of him. And then you have this paymaster who's been set up in that position by by the Israeli government or the British government, in my opinion. So, I mean, yeah, I guess that's the microcosm and macrocosm. If you're looking at it that way, it's the same thing. But when you get down to the details, it's apples and oranges.
There's evidence to suggest.
I don't want any trouble. I love it, Randy. I don't want.
There's evidence to suggest, people, that Jeffrey Epstein taught Bill Clinton how to launder money efficiently, or vice versa, because we all know that Bill Clinton ran cocaine out of Mena, Arkansas. We know that's 100% fact. Okay, killed them two boys down there on the tracks because they saw it. Because his campaign manager, who I spoke with my own mouth, saw him with my own eyes. Larry Nichols, I spoke with him in person, and he told me they did it.
I'll take a step. What about our brother, Zachary King, former high wizard of the world, bro, down in Bohemian Grove in your state?
Yeah.
This man was best friends with Bill Clinton. He was the high priest over the ceremonies and rituals of Bohemian Grove. Personal friend of mine. Got to interview him. Beautiful man. He went from high-level satanic wizard to a brother in the kingdom of God. And he told on them. You know what I mean?
They snitched them.
These people are satanic pedophiles, period. I don't believe Al Capone was a satanic pedophile. I believe he's an old school gangster.
Yeah.
Kill people, but whatever.
I mean, he killed people, but he wasn't sleep. Bro, let me tell you something. Is there no difference between somebody?
Evil's evil. Evil's evil.
If God came down from heaven right now and said, D, you're doomed, so you have two choices. You can be a satanic pedophile, or you can go in Chicago and live like a king. You may have to kill some people. There'll be other scumbag gangsters like you. Which coin do you think that I'm going to, which side of the coin you think I want to land on?
I'm not justifying him. I'm not justifying him.
Sure you are, Randy.
No, I think Randy's just saying that he killed a lot of people.
Randy's justifying Epstein, folks.
So is the U.S. government.
I got on my Hillary shirt.
You over this. That's
all right, hey, I don't want any trouble. I'm just.
No, I think what he's saying is that he killed people, but he ended up going to prison over stupid tax evasion.
He died like a Momo too. He was fishing like in his swimming pool for catfish. His mind was ate up with syphilis.
Yeah,
you see this big time gangster, and then he's like fishing in his swimming pool. Like that's a
Molly,
sad
you're correct.
For...
What I'm saying is the outcome was the same. We couldn't prove the crimes.
Right, you found some technicality.
Exactly.
But you could prove the crimes with Al Capone. You just had nobody who would stand up and be a witness. That's what it was.
That's
you have
like the list.
Elaine Maxwell, and that's why we're asking her for the list.
But there's evidence, though. There's tens of thousands of hours. Do y'all believe that there's no videos when the FBI said that there were like y'all? I've read the files. I don't know if y'all have.
Right.
The FBI said that there were cameras in every single room. So we're all under the understanding that there was cameras in every single room on that island. So we know that there's physical evidence of the crimes against these children.
Well, I know. So as a objective fact gatherer, I know they said there was thousands of hours of video, and I know that they said that there's no video. The only thing I know is that both of those can't be true at the same time.
Amen. Right. That's exactly right.
If they're saying now that there's no video, then you are relying on victim statements, which I feel like we have plenty of.
Amen.
And co-conspirators, witnesses, and that's the depraved thing about being on an island is that you don't have any neighbors going, yeah, I heard a lot of screaming last night.
You said last show that we did, the show that I came on.
Yes.
And you had tears in your eyes, and it moved my heart. You said you had these poor girls out there, and they see this woman. They say, oh, this is a woman. This is somebody who can relate to us. We've been under all this abuse. Then Ghislaine Maxwell says, hey, listen, I don't give a shit about you. And if you scream all you want, they like it. Nobody's coming to save you. That's sick.
She literally told them, you know how easy it would be to get rid of you. Well,
and she wasn't playing with them.
And that's why and I'm a little bit heavy-handed. One, because I think we're just too lenient with everyone, and that's how society has just gone down the shitter. But I also don't believe in time off for good behavior. You got 2 years, you serve 2 years. You want to do some more smart shit, you're going to do longer. I don't believe in like just getting people out because, well, it costs money and you have better things to do. And you could go married to a guy buying a baby. So there you go, sir, you can go. You got 2 years, you should do 2 years. Otherwise, make the sentence 2 months and then stick to that. What's the
Molly,
point
have
of
they made a statement that you know of? I'd be interested to know that. Like those two guys.
Oh, the husbands? Not that I know of, no.
You would think that the husband that wasn't like a registered sex offender would at least try to do some damage control. I mean, look at Hillary Clinton. She's the queen of damage control. You know what I mean?
He probably just hasn't been caught yet.
But think about it this way. If the first guy is such a crafter and a manipulator and a liar, I wonder if the husband even knew that he was a registered sex offender.
Oh, yeah. He absolutely knew. There's no doubt in my mind that he knew.
It's like, there are so many creepy guys out there that say like, oh, I love kids and I don't mind dating a woman who's got young ones. And it's like, run from that. Most men don't want to take care of other people's kids.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection.
No, she's right. She's right. You know why?
Objection on the floor, Randy.
What's that guy who shot the kids? Kyle Rittenhouse.
You said
Kyle Rittenhouse. One of the guys he shot, the guy was into women who had 10 to 11-year-old boys.
One of the guys who's in hell. For the record.
What's that?
Could you repeat that for the record, sir?
Oh, sorry, you were talking.
Yeah,
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Thank you.
One of the guys he smoked was into women who had 11-year-old boys.
Objection, Your Honor. Another false equivalent statement by Randy. He's comparing apples and oranges again.
If you look it up, it's all apples, buddy.
These guys are probably members of NAMBLA, for God's sake.
They were.
North American Man Boy Love.
I'm going to go in on a little secret. Let me tell you, have you ever seen Red Dragon? I'm going to tell you how my mind works. Because I can put there was a Red Dragon is the prequel to Silence of the Lambs. Yes. You folks are good folks. Y'all are good citizens, ex-police officers. I've been in the mix with scumbags before, so I have the proclivity to be able to think like a scumbag. But you were catching them. I was in the midst of them, so I can think like a scumbag. If I was Ghislaine Maxwell and I was presented with what's going on right now, I would have played victim off the rip.
Sure,
but like what you're talking about, Randy, with this. And Manhunter, both great movies. Circle of One's a great subscriber you have here. Again, I don't want to interrupt the show. I'm sincerely sorry, Molly. But if you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit like, share this video with all your friends and family, and make sure you subscribe for more content here on Molly Sleuth. She's a former homicide police sergeant.
I was just a detective, and I worked major assault crimes.
Just a detective, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to that humility.
Just a detective.
Just a detective that saved lives.
The number one detective in this LPD.
So major assault crimes is everything that could happen to a human body before the point of death. Then the homicide. Cool kids would take it.
Molly Sleuth, the stunt double for Denzel Washington in Training Day, has just said that she was just a detective, folks. Wow.
And you see that humility? That's sincere. Let me tell you something. This woman doesn't share my faith, but on this last show, I want to tell you this. On the last show I was on, 4 people really, who shared my faith did not show the sincerity and concern for the lives of those children that you did. And I'm not insulting it, but you see my brother Red Pill shaking his head like it moved my heart. Because you have a sincere love for children and for justice. And I want to tell you right now, I appreciate you for that. Because there's not a lot of people. I have a lot of friends that are police officers, judges, ex-Marines, ex-Navy SEALs. But it takes a real person. And whether you share my faith or not, that's a sincere heart that has a heart for children. I grew up my mom owned a daycare, the most prosperous daycare in the county. And I grew up with children. And I would see her cry herself to sleep. She died at 52 years old. And there's no doubt in my mind, it's from the stress of everything that was happening to those kids. And you're a very, very wonderful woman, and you have a good heart. And when I say that I want people to subscribe to this channel, I mean that from the bottom.
Thank you. Well, Randy, that's something that we talk about quite a bit about. Religion doesn't necessarily mean, like, if you're not religious, that you don't have an internal locus of control or morals or ethics or a very stringent way of looking at the world.
Yeah, you can be a heathen and still have morals.
I can show you pictures of me in my 20s dressed like a mermaid somewhere in Hollywood. Randy will attest to that.
Well, my email's oklahoma.com.
I don't believe it. Email him at Oklahoma Dolls.
Oklahoma Dolls at gmail.com for the mermaid pictures.
And I felt bad for the kids. It's just D was over talking everybody, so I couldn't say anything.
I was over talking. Molly, Your Honor, was I over talking over everybody?
Well, interrupted.
Molly seemed like she didn't say yes, so I mean, she's the judge.
She tried to say yes, you cut her off.
Wow. I'm sincerely sorry. I've just been trying to cut off Randy this whole time.
Okay.
I love you, D.
I love you too, brother.
All right, well, let's let Randy cook. Randy, you wanted to talk about Cincinnati.
No, here we go.
Yeah, so there was a brawl in Cincinnati. There was a brawl in Cincinnati.
Good night, folks.
We let this guy talk for an hour uninterrupted. I said 30 seconds.
I sincerely apologize. Please
No, it's
tell
okay.
us about
Must
the
have been a
interesting
small
things going
technical
on.
difficulty.
It shows maturity levels. Good job. Good job.
I'm a giant kid, bro. You don't know that?
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. This serious business. This serious business. Let me let Randy get back to it.
Thank
Reverend Agard, thank you.
Cincinnati. Brawl.
Cincinnati.
You've gone 4 seconds. Good job. Let's see if you can do 5.
For real this time.
So there was a brawl in Cincinnati. How it was presented was there was a gang of black people that attacked 2 innocent white people. What had happened was the media's trying to push this divide and conquer between black, white, male, female, conservatives, whatever. So what had really happened was there was a large group of white people, and they got to a conversation with some black people, and one of the white people had hit one of the black people, and they attacked each other. So 2 different stories were shown. One story was this group of black people just attacked these white people for no reason, and then the other story was it was a confrontation between black and white. So I keep saying this. We have one screen and 2 different stories. And back to something Molly said, and it's kind of good that Dee took a break. Now I get to talk for a second. With all of this, so lawlessness happens when you switch over to identity politics. So if somebody's a certain color or race or religion, now we're not doing justice. Now we're doing, oh, you're purple, you can do whatever you want. There was a Simpsons episode where there was a trans individual. I think they were doing something at the bar, and the bartender said to him, hey, you can't be doing that. And then the person said, I'm trans. And then the bartender said, oh, that's right. You can do whatever you want. That's not me saying it. That's society reflecting certain people can do whatever they want, be it black, gay, white, whatever. And that is not justice. So it's divide and conquer. The truth about the Cincinnati brawl came out. So that's 2 cents on that.
May I?
Yeah, it's
All
an
right,
interesting one because no, he's not done.
Okay, I'll be right.
No, I'm done now.
It's an interesting one because although I guess the white guy slapped the black guy, there was footage prior to that the black guy had touched the white guy, whatever. Who cares who started it?
Oh, wow.
But if watching the footage, it's kind of confusing. But one thing that's not confusing is when they go and hit this girl, because her back was turned towards this guy. She wasn't doing anything. She's not punching anyone. She's not attacking anyone. And this is what happened to her.
Jesus.
Knocked out cold.
Got the brakes beat off her ass, huh?
And they're continuing to hit her while she's down.
What are you laughing at, Randy? This is serious business. What's wrong with you?
I mean, this lady, although
I think
was it Vivek Ramaswamy that said like, oh, she's just a single mom that went to a birthday party. Like nobody, like once somebody's on the ground, and this isn't black or white or anything, but we used to have like rules in fighting. Like I used to take Hapkido every summer. So I've been a yellow belt 3 times. Clearly I know what I'm talking about. But like if as soon as the other one submits or like taps out or you get the point or whatever, like you're done. And like now fighting has just become so like gross. We never would kick people in the fucking head.
You're equating fighting on the mat in the dojo with fighting on the street. Now, those are 2 different equivocations. When you get somebody
fights on the street, I've had fights on the street.
I mean, I know you are. I know you have, and because of your background. But we're talking in generality. We can't.
I'm not even talking about being a cop. I'm just talking about being a hellion in Hollywood.
Nowadays, people go to the streets with their hands, but you don't know if somebody's got a knife. You don't know if somebody has a firearm. You don't know if somebody has a blackjack, pepper spray, taser, whatever. So when I get somebody, I tell you, I fight till the threat is over. That's me personally.
She was knocked out. The lady was out.
I understand that. So, but we have to talk about the entirety of the situation. The reason they're pushing this narrative is for division purposes only. We know this. They have tried to divide white and black because here, let me tell you what. They know the powers that be, the governments of this world, know if they can keep us divided on any issue, race, religion, gender, sexual proclivity, anything, if they can keep us divided, then they're still maintain control. And that's what the name of the game is, control. They want control over you. They want an economic noose over our neck, a social noose over our neck, any method that they can do to where they can have you dancing on the puppets over top of hell's glory that they can have. So anything like this that is a conflict between people, they take and propagandize.
That's the only reason we're seeing it.
That's the only reason you're seeing it. Because this type of shit happens every day.
Yeah, you know how many white folks got jumped by black folks and black folks got jumped by white folks.
Jumped by white folks, exactly.
I guarantee you, during the course of this show, that's probably happened 8 times in my beautiful state of Oklahoma. You'll never hear about it though, because they don't want to use that to gas one up. There probably wasn't a woman involved. You know, your subscriber
is saying though, there's all these people that stood there and just were glued to their phones filming it.
That's
like we had lots of fights, but they were never filmed. Like you never saw the moment of impact.
Sure, but if they had the technology,
you don't see the moment of impact, because if you see the moment of
impact, would have done
that gives you more details of the situation. They don't want you to have details of the situation. They're catering to your feelings.
Feelings, that's right.
It's not about the details of what happened. Who gives a shit that 2 people were jumped? I mean, this is me. I may sound cold and callous, but I'm a minister of the word of God. This stuff what? Excuse me, sir. Objection, Your Honor. Anyways, before I was so rudely interrupted by whoever this guy is up above me.
My best friend.
Well, your best friend, that jabroni. Anyways.
What jabroni? What's a jabroni?
A jabroni.
Jabroni.
What's a jabroni?
My brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law.
Who by blood rights I can make fun of it anytime
the point I was trying to make before I was so rudely interrupted by this guy over in Los Angeles is they don't really want us to have the details. They want us to be outraged. That's the reason. If you look at, I'm a statistician, like I said. If you look at the statistics, there are more black cops that kill white people than there ever was black cops or white cops that kill black people. Why do we only hear about white cops killing black people? Because it's a part of the population that's small yet big enough to be significant on the public scale. So if you get all black people riled up and make them think they're being subjugated under the foot of some unlawful police, then yeah, that's disorder, and that's what they want. They want disorder among the populace, so we don't look at the paymasters who are really doing this stuff to us.
I want to say something to what David Lee said. He said,
you weren't even.
Let's say there's 1,000 people in charge, right? And out of those 1,000, they have 1 million people. If I can keep you all divided in numbers of like 900, so 900 black people, 900 white people, 900 whatever, you can rule those 900 people because you're 1,000. But when we all come together, I can't even remember what number I said, but
Randy and his race baiting.
When we Molly, he's not coming back on next show. We're gonna have those 2 husbands on next show with the baby.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. You're going to have the 2 husbands.
Matter of fact, let's just have the baby on.
Well, folks, it's been nice. Thank you, Molly. I'll see you later.
I think a lot of people were also pissed, though, because this guy was just released on a felony charge for weapons. And in their mind, he shouldn't have been out. And yet he's out here kicking people in the head.
Yeah. Well, a lot of this is because men today, you saw this in New York with the lady who was raped on the train. And those soft serve, softest Charmin cucks on the train didn't do anything to help her. You see this because men's balls have dropped off. Let's put it like this. That's a fact.
They've gone back into adolescence. They're little boys.
Sure, they're little boys now. Nobody wants to disseminate and defend the innocent anymore because, well, and it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I can kind of understand because when you do, you're raked over the coals because you're targeting and you're don't you know that the person is discriminated against?
It's toxic masculinity.
Toxic masculinity and all this bullshit.
Let me tell you something. If I was on that train, I would have stomped that dude's guts out of his
Out,
and
yes.
wrapped around his neck and laughed the whole time and waved if there was news cameras there. We as men have a natural, innate, want given to us from God to protect the innocent. And God bless Pammy Rutledge. She said it best. When your first reaction to some innocent person, whether they be black, white, or anything in between, being harmed, being jumped, is to pull out your phone and film. I understand a lot of people do this because they want evidence of it. Maybe it's some little old lady that can't do anything. But when you got men out there, able-bodied young men, damn them, bro. That's the world we live in.
And so that's what happened with her. They were beating the guy while he was on the ground, and she came in to try to help him out. And as far as I know, I don't think they even know each other. She just stepped in to help him out, and then this is what she got. Then you have this city councilwoman on freaking Facebook. I don't know if you heard that part of the story, but she was posting on Facebook, Cincinnati councilwoman. So this is somebody that's supposed to represent everybody. And she says in an online post that has been condemned by conservative politicians and public figures, she says the pair begged for that beatdown. I'm grateful for the whole story.
Oh, I heard that.
Wait a minute. Back up. Because I'm a little hard of hearing. You said this was a city council person?
City councilwoman Victoria Parks. And so I think you also have to see that going back.
She was black, right? I'm just guessing she was black, right?
I don't know.
How much do you want to bet you? What's her name? I'm going to look it up. I'll bet you a wooden nickel that this woman was black.
I mean, she could be, but
of course
I think it's gross no matter
what. Of course
what.
is. She's probably some ratchet hooker.
That part's important because that's a part of the agenda. They have to split the races. They turn us against each other.
But this has been going on since 1981, and they were doing these festivals and this hotel. I don't know if it was the Marriott, but they got busted because there was an internal memo that said, hey, you guys, this weekend's going to be really crazy. There's going to be a lot of rowdiness and people doing drugs and people not tipping very well. And that got out and was like, oh, you're against black people. We are going to boycott you. And so these music festivals in Cincinnati have been making the news, not for the music festival, but because this is an opportunity to only spend your money with black business and don't spend your money anywhere else. And so, no, there was a, what was the name of it? There was a bar called Knockback Ned's or something like that. And not a black-owned business. They were under construction.
Does it not? That sounds like a gay bar.
I don't know if it was a gay bar or not, but it wasn't black-owned. And they were in the whole process of remodeling, and they decided to take that weekend. Let's just redo the floors. I mean, you guys are boycotting our business anyway, so we're just going to, while we're sucking up this money for the weekend, let's take this weekend to remodel the floors. And I don't know for a fact that that they picked that weekend because of that. But of course, then everybody was saying, well, that's totally racist that you're not going to but it's racist for you not to come to my business because it's not black owned.
Well, you don't understand. It's only racist. It's only racist if it comes from a white person to a black person, you see.
Right.
The definition of the word has changed. If I was there being a proud black man from Southern Oklahoma, I would have straight up told him, pardon my language, folks, but I would have said, nigga, please get out of my face with that nonsense.
Exactly.
It's all a bunch of it's a bunch of division. And again, the only reason why this is a point of topic is because they want to divide us. They want.
That was a demon trip.
No shit. Where was that at? Was that here?
No, that was somebody just just went down the street.
God, where were they in the Dragula? Golly.
We don't know. I was waiting for it to crash, but
I was waiting for a Rob Zombie song, some White Zombie to kick on. Dig through the ditches and burn through the. Anyways.
Well, but so of course this is going to make the news. It's like if you died because a boat ran over your legs and you drowned, nobody cares as much. But if you get bit by a shark, everybody wants to see that on the news.
Absolutely.
And
now you got it.
Yep.
Like moving to the Midwest and telling people that I'm from California, everyone's like, "Oh my God, weren't you afraid of the sharks?" Like, first of all, I was a goth girl. I wasn't at the beach. Like, the sharks don't go to the
I can
mall.
see that.
Again, that email's oklahomados@gmail.com.
And so, but people have this like really skewed sense that like you come in contact with a lot of sharks if you live in California. And like I've never seen one, but
On land.
the news so much that people think that there are just like sharks all over the place.
What's
In
crazy
fact,
is people still
one of the
watch the news.
things for Michigan is that we have shark-free water. That's like a big thing. Like our water doesn't have sharks. Like, first of all, I want to go get some sharks and just put them in the water because I think it's so stupid. But yeah, they
As
talk
if
about
bull sharks can breathe fresh water, so that myth is out of the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Do they deliver though? Because I'm not going back to California to go get one.
You don't have to. They
I'd
travel up
I'd like to
2,000
state that
miles up the Mississippi River.
I have no desire to move sharks from their natural habitat into an unnatural habitat like these three terrorists here that I'm talking with.
Why
It's
not?
called a new natural habitat, D. And I think that they would do very well here because nobody expects them.
He's shark racist. Great black shark.
You're sharkish.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Well, it's the
Molly,
white
you was a
shark, bro.
goth girl, Molly?
Huh?
You were a goth girl?
Objection.
Oh, my goodness. Did you happen to frequent a place called Club Metro in Riverside, California?
I think I had been to Metro, but I was more in Hollywood, so
Did you like Nine Inch Nails?
clubs. I did like Nine Inch Nails.
Nine Inch Nails is my favorite band. Trent Reznor is a musical genius. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
Yeah,
Nirvana, Kurt
he is
Cobain.
good. I really do like him. What? I didn't hear you, David Lee.
Nirvana, Kurt Cobain.
Yes, I liked Nirvana. I was more into like
Soundgarden and Alice in Chains were way better than Nirvana.
Oh, yeah.
Nirvana
Green
was
Day.
the radio.
Green Day. I guarantee you she's a Green Day
Forget
fan.
about them. They're yesterday's new.
no
Nirvana
Green
sucked.
Day.
Nirvana was like the bottom of the barrel for the Seattle bands. It goes like this. It goes Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, close second.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Pearl Jam, no
Yep.
band whatsoever, and then Nirvana.
Wow,
No
God.
band whatsoever. I thought Nirvana. Listen, not everybody can be Soundgarden. And I thought Nirvana
Well, listen,
did
do you remember that song,
Nirvana.
Polly? You remember that song, Polly? Do you remember the lyrics to Polly?
Yep.
Polly want a cracker. I think I should get off her first. I think she wants her mother. Yeah, they and guess what?
Well,
Kurt Cobain was the son of a United States 4-star general. So
Yes.
was Jimi Hendrix. So was Janis Joplin. So was
Joplin.
who? Help me out, brother. There's a lot more. See, old Uncle D for old dumb country boy knows a little bit about a little bit. And you have these artists. You have these artists that died at 27 years old. Kurt Cobain,
The 27 Club.
4-star general, the 27 Club. Morrison, what was his name? Jim Morrison, The Doors.
Jim Morrison,
Daddy
Doors.
was a 4-star general. Jimi Hendrix, his daddy was a sergeant paratrooper, I believe. All of them died at 27 years old. Have you ever heard of a man named Michael Aquino?
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go. Y'all ready for this?
Here we
Y'all
go.
ready for it?
In the upright and locked position.
In locked position.
Michael Aquino was a 4-star general that was a part of the MK Ultra project. Eyebrows. I like Circle of One. Circle of One. My channel is Supernatural Truth. Take your ass over there and hit subscribe. I need you over there.
Yeah.
Michael Aquino was a 4-star general and the co-founder of the Church of Satan with Anton LaVey.
LaVey.
Right?
Okay.
If you go up to what's the graveyard in Washington D.C. with all the
Arlington.
if you go to Arlington Cemetery, the only grave that doesn't have a Star of David or a cross or something along those lines,
It has a pentagram.
It has a pentagram. Is Michael Aquino. This man was crucial in building the MK Ultra project at a base over in California. I can't remember where. I'm sorry for that.
Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
That's what
It
my
was
brother.
the
Fort Bragg,
Yep.
North Carolina. That's exactly right.
and it's
So-
still there today.
It's still there today.
The psychological
And this man died
department of
with
Fort Bragg.
honors, bro. He was given a full military. So, again, back to this child abuse in North Carolina. I believe it was in California where it took place, where these kids went missing. Let's say North Carolina. at a base in North Carolina, there were over 30 kids that when they grew up, they testified that they were taken from the base's daycare to someplace else and subjected to child abuse and sexual abuse. This Michael Aquino character, who was the co-founder of the Church of Satan and the only 4-star general in America's history whose religious practice was something other than Catholicism or Christianity. And he had a big hand in creating the MK Ultra project. He's the one that when he got involved with it, he started bringing in hypnotism. That's when they started going to the cat houses in San Francisco and dropping acid in the John's drinks and observing through two-way mirrors their reactions to it. You see what I'm saying, Molly? It always goes back to these guys worshiping Satan. So we want you to come to the winning side. Have you heard of my friend, the Lord Jesus Christ? Because you're too good of a woman.
I have, and this is probably another show, but I don't know that he's heard of me, and I'll just leave it.
He's heard of you. He's heard of you, and he loves you dearly. You're a beautiful and unique flower in his garden that he'll never allow to be plucked up and cast asunder. I promise you that.
Right.
So you guys like some alternative music? I assume you've heard of Depeche Mode.
Oh yeah.
KMFDM.
I like KMFDM.
You know what that stands for?
They kill motherfuckers.
Kill MF. Yeah, well, there you go. So yeah, I've heard of Depeche Mode.
Depeche Mode has some lyrics. I think that God's got a sixth sense of humor, and when I die, I expect to find him laughing.
Well, goddamn them. How about that?
We could definitely talk about that, Dee, and you might be a good one because I got lots of questions about how things work.
You got lots of answers.
It's not just police stuff. I've always been a digger. I've always been an objective fact gatherer. And if you say the sky is blue, I might just have to take a little peek anyway.
Outside of that, talking to you, God's presence is with you. You have a sincere heart, and that can't be present unless there's God.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like you are a genuinely good woman.
Molly, may I say something, Molly, to you?
Principled.
Watch the last
Randy's
show.
talking. I'm gonna call my. I'm sorry, bro. Randy's talking. I'm gonna turn my camera.
I said one word, principled.
Watch the last. Molly, go back to our channel and watch the last show that little Randy and Dee and I did together.
Yeah.
And you will see
I smoked this game.
the why the world is. 'Cause I know that's a question you had. Why is the world the way it is? You'll see exactly why the world is the way it is. It's in a fallen state. And all the topics that we're talking about tonight is because it can be traced back to the root of those problems that were caused in that antediluvian world. Because if you're like us, and I'm quite certain at this point in talking with you, knowing that you're a researcher and that you're a digger, as you said, you know that a seeker of truth, that what we've been told from knee-high to a grasshopper in school, from kindergarten to college, has been a lie. We've been deceived and played from the beginning, and they continue to do it. They continue to do it because, you know what? They can. Over 51% of this country is lost in the proverbial sauce. Amen. We know this. And less than that have their eyes open like we do. The people who have their eyes open are what we call the remnant in Christianity. The people who are set apart for times such as this conversation that we're having tonight. People who believe like we do, who regardless of the consequences, because I know now that I know you, just from talking with you, but I know each of these guys up here a little more intimately than I do you. But I can tell you this, without question, no matter the consequence, the truth will reign supreme in our minds and in our hearts. And I believe that you're the same way.
I believe she is too.
I really believe that. I believe
I believe you'll stand up for the innocent unto your own death. I believe that you would protect a child, an innocent child, Even though you have no children of your own, I believe that you wouldn't have a moment's hesitation to protecting the child.
But I don't think that has to do with being religious or not religious. I think that's just the right thing to do.
Religion is to my Father in heaven as dung. The church
and
today has failed. They failed. We're not religious people. We just have faith in Lord Jesus Christ.
I just mean, so that internal locus of control versus external. So there are people that don't rob a bank because they don't want to go to jail. And there are people that don't rob a bank because it is the wrong thing to do. So I just don't feel
that's head knowledge. We're talking about heart knowledge.
Right. You know what
I'm saying? Like, I understand
I'm just talking about like how you live your life. How you live your life and who you protect or what decisions you make, I think, is dependent on what is the right thing to do and not whether or not you're going to get rewarded or punished.
How do you know what's right? If you think that you're going to die and be buried in the sand as a dog, like you live your 40, 50, 100 years on planet Earth, and then you die, and then they bury you, and that's the end of your life. I mean, why not live like a vagrant? Why not be a rapist or a murderer or a bank robber? Why not? Because when you're gone, you're going to be gone. Even if they lock you up, you'll be in jail for 20 years. You'll die there.
I think I just have a very stringent internal locus of control.
You do.
I feel that
you control every element of your life perfectly.
No, I try to. But I think if I felt that this was all part of God's plan and that we were all just, pawns for this great plan that was already set in motion and he knows what's going to happen.
That's not how it works. That's not true Christianity.
Okay. Well, to me, then that means that what's the point of having this conversation? What's the point of trying to stop somebody from getting molested? Because that was in the plan. And
that's nihilism, and you're not a nihilist. I can tell you that right now. You're no nihilist.
Yeah, you're no nihilist. You're not black-pilled. You're red-pilled for sure, but you're not black-pilled.
I'm okay.
So nothing.
My red-pilled friends.
Do you really believe that nothing means anything and we're just flowing through life?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm sorry if I came across that way.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying if this is a plan that we are unaware of, why these people are getting away with this stuff.
It's not a plan.
Then there's no, or it's predestined.
See, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you as a minister of the Word of the living God, right? A minister of the Word. That's the Bible. God is not Geppetto. He's not a genie. He's given us dominion over the earth. Our decisions is what dictates reality. See, if he was this Geppetto pulling these strings, you'd be absolutely right, but he's not, and the Bible does not indicate that. That's a unlearned, like, what do you call it? An unlearned opinion, which doesn't make you bad, but that's just what the modern church has put out, and that's why I don't go to church, because the modern church again has failed you. It's failed you, Molly. And anyways, let's move on to the next subject. I love you because you're a good person.
Yes,
and God lives in you. He does. And I really want to have a talk with you because I want you to come over to our side. I really do.
And you have found 2 allies in us. I promise you that.
You have.
2,
three.
You.
Randy's talking. Let me turn my
Randy,
homeless man in the corner doesn't count.
Randy, I'm making new friends now.
That's exactly right, Randy.
That's right, Randy. You're yesterday's snow, brother. Your second banana.
Yeah, yesterday's snow.
Baby's got a new sitter.
Baby's got her blue jeans on. Like the old,
Molly's a savage, bro. She belongs in our tribe.
Whoa. What about me?
What about you?
You're like the little brother. We just let you hang out.
Damn.
You're like a little special needs kid over in the corner.
I'm going to take this.
I didn't say nothing that. What the hell was that? He's lifting up some house cleaning. So.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, what is that, Randy?
How many people we got watching live?
I don't know, because the counter has been off for weeks. The counter has been off, so I don't know how many. I see it afterwards.
But it's not enough. Hit like, subscribe, and share this video with all your friends.
So I was told to mediate the next subject, as these guys requested, was the VA fires. Molly Brenner.
Ooh.
The senator or congressman was
the state rep that got lit on fire. I don't know that much about it, just that they knew each other. The guy looked crazy in the picture that I saw. Does anybody know, you guys are in Virginia, do you guys know what their beef was, what this crazy guy's issue was with him?
They're keeping that pretty tight-lipped right now for some reason.
You know what that means.
Greater point, I'll say this. Though it be a tragedy that somebody got spontaneously combusted, at least now, these politicians.
Was it spontaneous, though? He did bring a 5-gallon.
Well, I'm being facetious, you can probably tell. But at least now, even at a macro or micro level, at a community level, these politicians know that there is consequences to your actions. At least they know that now. See, for too long, these people have operated under the umbrella of immunity, both legally, culturally, civilly.
Right.
And now that people can touch them tangibly, they may have some get in their pep in their step. And that goes from the local level, which I have served government, and I'm ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of my service to the people, but my service to the system. I've served government. I bet you have. I've served the government at every level, community, so locally, for the state, and the federal government. And I will tell you that being a hammer, which is what I was, a hammer for the state, the proverbial state, is not something I'm proud of. I am proud of the service to my nation, my community, the people of it, the people that make it up. But to that system, I am not. Because whether you want to believe it or not, every man, woman on this screen and in this chat, we are cannon fodder to these people.
Yes. Brother-in-law, I want to add something to what you just said. I want to add something to what you just said.
Objection, Your Honor. The Red Pill Preacher is still talking.
Sir, and there's no way you can mute his mic?
God, how rude. How rude is Randy Agard?
How rude.
That was 13 seconds. So, brother-in-law, I want to say something. Jesus.
Of all the nerve. All right, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, because you've only been speaking for an hour and a half.
No, I've turned my camera and my microphone off because you're talking, so go ahead.
Well, I can still hear you. Anyways, brother-in-law, to what you said. So when they had this "We Love Criminals" and "We Hate Cops" movement, for which I actually cried, and I don't cry. Molly's known me for none of you ever seen me cry. I cried when they said defund the police because I knew a lot of people were going to die. And here's the thing with that. Until the people who said, let's do this, started getting smoked, that's when they kind of turned their backs on the whole, maybe we shouldn't be massaging criminals and giving them head rubs and stuff like that.
We had a warden in my first institution that we called her Warden Hug-a-Thug.
Hug-a-Thug. There you go. Hug-a-Thug.
Yeah, Hug-a-Thug. She was bringing damn Pall Malls and Newports into the inmates when they opened the damn prison doors. So what does that tell you about our society? And to the larger point of Randy not crying, I've seen this man cry when the damn Smurfs come on. So let's not.
That was one time when you said you weren't going to say anything.
Then like he don't cry. We have feelings, bro. There's nothing. I've always said that there's nothing. It's always manly to cry. It's never manly to whine.
You said you wasn't going to say anything.
Well, I know, but witches get stitches and put in the ditches, right?
Oh my God.
I was sad for Papa Smurf. He couldn't get with whatever her name was, 304 Smurf.
Yeah, 304 Smurfette.
Yeah, Smurfette, that's her name.
One female Smurf in the whole damn tribe. You know, she was getting her little blue cheek clapped.
Oh God. Anyways, yeah, until it affects them, they don't care. So he's absolutely correct with that. Molly, I have a question for these two. I had a question for these two. So with all of this movement towards you guys' side, why do you think that's happening? You think they gave the left and liberals a chance and they screwed it up, or
it's simple as the pendulum. It's natural law. When things go so far to one side, the momentum is going to come back, and everything is going to come back to balance at some point. You know, my PhD is in philosophy. And yes, Molly, I actually am a doctor. He's not bullshitting you. I have a PhD in philosophy. The love of wisdom, love of knowledge is what that translates to, equivocates. And in my studies, I have found that wisdom and knowledge will find a way to balance itself. And as far as these libtards have went to the left, eventually it's going to come back to some semblance of sanity, or there'll be a complete societal collapse. Now, I do believe that collapse is inevitable. I believe the damage has been so far done that there's really no coming back on a big scale, a grand scale. But we can start to make those changes on the micro level at our communities, in your individual families. And this is what these shows do. You know, you say your channel's small. Well, you got 1,000 subscribers. That's like 180% larger than most Christian churches on every Sunday morning. We have a channel of about 10,000, roundabout. We preach to more people the message of truth every week, multiple times, than they're getting on Sunday mornings. I mean, it's just the way it is. We're giving more unfiltered, you're giving more unfiltered knowledge and bringing people to the light, to the actually illuminating people's consciousness to the truth of the matter. So don't think that what you do is unimportant. It's very important. It's very important.
Well, I think these are just like conversations that Randy and I already have. And that was kind of what started it last summer for us, is like,
well, I can see why y'all are besties. Unless that's some kind of bullshit flim flam. Are y'all really besties for real? Like,
yeah.
Okay. So I can see why that's the case. You're more like us than you think, especially in principle. Very much in principle.
Yeah, I think like Randy and I just we're so similar to each other, and maybe not our backgrounds. I was never a Marine, but I think in principle, Randy.
Well, that's only one part of Randy's history.
Hey.
Randy also is a child of immigrants. He's also, got family in the project. So he is a well-rounded person. And I know I mess with him and I joke with him, and that's my right as his brother-in-law to clown his ass. You know what I mean? I'm supposed to do that. But he'll tell you that.
Well, I'll tell you this: I ain't his brother-in-law.
Oh, here he is. He's back. Oh my God!
I've been here the whole time. I've been listening the whole time. I'm just waiting for my chance. I didn't mean to interrupt my point because he's one of the most brilliant men on planet Earth. But I'm not his brother-in-law, and I'll smoke his game.
That's right. We'll smoke him like a pack of Newports. I will too.
Like a pack of Marlboro Reds all day.
Yeah,
long.
like in Cowboy Killers.
Yes, sir.
Huge.
But I mean, let me pose a question to my brother-in-law.
Yes, sir.
Randy. And Molly, you might want to listen to this. Has anything I've ever told you, and let's call the word prophecy, prophesied to you, failed to come to truth?
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
In 2008, he told me, stay out of the cities. A whole bunch of bad stuff's going to happen. He was a few years off, but it happened. These two guys, D included, I love you, D. That's why I give you problems.
I love you too, brother.
These two guys called me, I think, yesterday or the day before, and there was an earthquake the next day. And they were warning me about getting out of California. And you guys can go online and look it up. There was an earthquake in California, I believe yesterday. And they were like,
imagine that, Molly. Where did we get that information at, Molly?
And I'm not saying
what a friend we have in Jesus. Molly, we want you on the winning team.
But okay, so how come Jesus is telling you, but he's not telling Randy who the earthquake is affecting?
Because Randy's lost in the sauce.
True.
Yeah, because Randy's worried about them dirty leg heifers in California, and and chasing women and being on Plenty of Fish.
I'll tell you the
and all that.
biblical. I'll tell you the biblical.
Okay,
equivalent of
Cupid.
it. We do our dead level best to stay in obedience unto the Lord
Yes.
and unto the hearkening of the Holy Spirit. And I'm not saying that Randy doesn't, but
Yes.
the Lord gives us a word. Why are you rolling your eyes like that? I read facial expressions. I took a class in college about body
One
language.
class?
Hold on. Wait a minute.
Okay.
I
Okay,
thought
sorry.
not the class.
Oh my God.
The point is that we got people like us have a little more sense, and we can see farther down the road than your normies out here.
You'd call it supernatural deductive reasoning. That's
Supernatural deductive reasoning. Listen, look at it.
That's all it is. It's supernatural deductive reasoning. We can see a little bit further into situations and make conclusive what would you call
Determinations.
Determinations about situations based on the information that we have at hand.
I have to give Molly the same props too. She said, "Get out of Hollywood, or you're in a bunch of trouble." And then, sure enough,
why do you think we're trying to get her on the winning team?
That's not because of Jesus. That's because those guys were assholes.
Yep.
Well, touche.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Right.
that's an off-air conversation because I'm telling you, I felt your heart because you had tears in your eyes when you were talking about those kids.
Me too. It moved me. It moved me.
And I've had a couple of people that watched that show. It was about 5 people that watched that show that called me and said, "D, I like this lady." And me and you were the only ones that were on the same page with that.
You
Me
know
too.
what? I think I was just getting frustrated with it because a comment was made from somebody else on the panel that they're adults now, so it shouldn't be as horrible or whatever the comment was. And
what if only a few people got justice?
I'm so happy for that person that they have never had to talk to somebody that's whole life has been ruined by something like that happens when they're little. But in the case of to bring it back to Randy's mobster, those people are dead now and they are not suffering anymore. These people die a little bit every day.
Amen.
They're already dead.
So
their spirit is dead.
They're still dying. They are not having normal relationships. They don't. I mean, it's so dumb, but I was attacked by wasps the other day. It's so stupid, but it's days later, a week and a half, and every little ting I feel is another wasp on me. And I'm just so hyper vigilant and I'm freaking out. And I'm wearing my firefighter gear, walking around my yard yesterday, and the neighbors came out and told me I was an idiot. But it's like something, getting attacked in that way was just so crazy. And I mean, these girls, and all I did was walk across my yard. There wasn't that whole grooming period where I'm like, oh, I can trust Ghislaine. She's a lady. Let me just get on this boat. Let me just get on this plane. Oh, she told me to bring something sexy to wear. I'm sure that, I'm just going to model. And that whole okey doke process has got to be just so shocking when it turns out that they had this planned all along. And so to say oh, well, they're adults now, but they're not really. Part of them was never able to.
It's called arrested development.
Yes.
Can't trust a bitch ass yellow jacket. Yes, you're absolutely right.
I can comfortably tell you as a minister of the word of God, damn them yellow jackets.
Why do they even exist? They're
Mosquitoes.
so awful.
They kill the shit out of mosquitoes. They do.
Yeah, they do kill the shit out, and they're food for the ravens.
Yep.
Yeah, but other things eat mosquitoes that are cute and have some kind of value. And these don't. They're awful. And we're in a time where we want to tweak with science. Somebody eradicate them.
Deer is cute, but I'll still eat the hell out of him.
Ill.
You know what I mean? A deer is cute, but I'll still eat the hell out of him. You know what I mean?
I thought Randy, I'm with you. I thought he said the same thing. I was like, oh. Shit.
Yeah, I thought he said D is.
What did I say?
D is cute.
Now, y'all know RPP. I'm like Bill Clinton. I like that chocolate milk.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys.
All right, hold on.
Russia
One
earthquakes.
second. I'm sorry. I'm
The Russia. Yeah, cut your mic off. The Russia earthquakes. Look at this black on black comedy.
Black on black crime. Zephaniah 3421, a Supernatural Truth subscriber. Welcome to the Molly Sleuth channel. I implore you, Zephaniah 3421, to hit subscribe, hit the like button on this video, and go back through all of her other catalog and hit like on those too, because she's a great lady and has great content.
Yeah, we had a good one. We had a good one, Red Pill, Black Pill, a couple weeks ago that you might want to check out. It's a good one. And Randy's channel is Randy Agard on Rumble, which we were also simulcasting to. And I think in the description, I've got links to D, which you already know, and to Randy's channel.
Yes.
So we were talking about the Russian earthquake, Randy. And so I think the conversation D and I had the other day was about HARP and potential weather weapons. And now D's like silent. Get back.
Now
I'm trying to let Randy. I don't want to be.
Now you want to be quiet.
I don't want to be. I'm trying to be respectful to you, Randy. Dadgum.
Well, damn that. I'm going to tell him.
Brother-in-law, you take the mic, brother-in-law.
No. Well, let's let Randy. He's got notes, bro. He had something written down on a piece of paper.
I'm sure he does. Did he write them in crayon?
I actually have nothing to say about this. All I can say is D's the worst human I've ever met. But subscribe to his channel. No. I'm just kidding. You're the second worst. My brother-in-law right here.
Bro, did you hear that? We're the first place and runner-up.
Man. Well, guess what?
No, I'm kidding.
I win the gold star.
Man,
I'm kidding. My brother,
out, Randy. We've been waiting on you for 8 years.
My brother-in-law right there, he actually takes care of my dad. I have nothing bad to say about that guy.
He still ain't.
And he's married to my big sister.
Molly.
He's married to my big sister, so he has Simon Great over me.
Judge Molly, he's still not talking about what he wanted to, and I think I should take the floor from him before it's too late.
Well, he was opening the floor up to you.
Right, you big mouth.
Oh, to me?
Huh?
No, that's
the other big mouth. The other big mouth.
Oh, Red Pill?
No,
I think.
Randy, go ahead. Tell us what you're going to tell us.
I actually had nothing to say for the first time.
First time's ass.
No, he was bringing it up because you wanted to talk about the Russian earthquake, D.
Right, we have 10 minutes.
I want to talk about that. We have 10 minutes to talk about the Russian earthquake. Okay, It was 8.9 on the Richter scale, and it only goes up to 9. So our Bible says that there'll be earthquakes in diverse places during the end
Wars
time.
And rumors of wars.
Yep, wars and rumors of wars. I think we're living through the end times, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, where did my brother go?
I don't know. I'll keep watching out for him in the chat to re-add him.
You heard his feelings.
So what do you think about like HARP and weather weaponization? Because we've certainly seen it here, and there was talks that perhaps those floods that happened in China right after some floods happened here. Oh, you're doing DoorDash. That's so great.
Huh?
Who is?
No, I'm reading the chat. Zephaniah's doing DoorDash.
Yeah, Zephaniah is a great person. Good brother in the faith. I firmly believe that HARP is a real thing. I think it's measurable. I think when you look at the times that it has been fired up and look at natural disasters, there's a correlating line that goes between them. And I find it awful funny that all this social unrest at the same time as all this strange weather stuff. I mean, it's for a reason. Molly, you mentioned it earlier. Like there's a correlation between all this stuff. And it's to get us separated, because if we ever come together as an American people, if we ever get on the same page, they're in trouble, folks. If we can ever overlook black, white, brown, yellow, whatever the case is, and we can say, you know what, we're an American people. It may have just been a bunch of white guys and a couple of black guys that signed that Declaration of Independence, but guess what? This is what we are in 2025. We all fall under the Declaration of Independence. We all have these freedoms that we share and enjoy. They're in trouble. They're in trouble, and they know it. And see, you have to understand that the Club of Rome, there's a ton of these think tanks that all they do all day long, they have these annual meetings to see how can we separate these people? How can we put dividing lines to these people? Because they don't want us together. They don't want what you see right here. They hate in their souls. They don't want an ex-cop with a preacher from the South. They don't want an ex-judge like Dave was with somebody who's been to jail before. They hate that because that shows that there's inclusivity. If there's inclusivity, then there can be a hive mind, because they have a hive mind. Make no mistake. The reason that these things that we've been talking about, these grisly things that we talk about, keep taking place is because there's a hive mind behind it. There are people that have vested interests in one another and somebody else's success. When you are looking at someone else to be successful, and your success is based off someone else's success, you'll do everything in your power to make sure that person's successful, including covering up atrocious crimes. They don't live like we do, folks. They don't go and work an honest job. They don't go and serve their community. They serve each other's interests.
But I think we find the opposite is that they do better when we're not, and that's why the news is so full of brawls, and they're putting bullshit in our food to make us dependent on pharmaceuticals and, every metric of it. But I think that shows like this, I mean, even though it's like a tiny little nook in the world, it's like getting to meet people, like new people. I haven't met Seraphim or Zephaniah, and it's very exciting to me that we can bring new people to kind of come together. But I guess what my question is, Dee, like, for the people that are still fighting on the streets and making stupid news stories, like, how do you get to those people and say, it's not worth it? You don't want to be on the news. Like, over what? This bullshit is going to, like, you're going to do this to some lady for what reason? Like, she was just standing there, like, and why was that lady, involved in some kind of fight? Like, why did she feel that she needed to help? Why do you feel that you need to fight? Like, how do we reach across the aisle and just get everybody on board?
Well, that's a great question. It comes down to this for me. When we follow God's order, and that's God and man, man and woman, woman over children and household, there's nothing like that can take place, because that woman would have known that, hey, this man's my protector. I don't need to be standing beside him in this moment. I need to be standing behind him. There's danger taking place. I need to be behind this man. I need to be somewhere on the phone calling the police, because these people are jumping him. He can no longer defend himself. I'm not physically able to help him. But God wasn't in the equation. You know what I'm saying? When you take God, when you take God out of the equation.
Yeah, there weren't officers that were available. There was no ambulance that was immediately available.
And why is that, Molly? Think about a handful of years ago when we said defund the police. Again, we're talking about the same thing. We created division. We created this mental division between citizens to say, hey, wait a minute, we're subjugated. We're in this big city, and we're even though I live on the good side of town, I'm black, but I'm a doctor. I'm also black. So the police aren't serving me. Yet this black doctor is able to lay his head on his pillow with his family at night and be comfortable knowing that if somebody kicked in his back window with his $10,000 security system, that the police would show up. But he wanted to be involved in something. He wanted to be involved, and they've split us up. It's basically, Miss Molly, it's tribalism. They're splitting us up into tribalism. It's not that.
Well, it's also just not taking accountability. Even the police chief for Cincinnati had said that the blame they have to look into if these people were overserved alcohol. And although it might be terrible, but I worked domestic violence cases, and these horrible things would happen to these women, and they would make excuses for their boyfriend, husband, by saying like, oh, he was drunk. And I would always ask them a question that would stop them in their tracks. How many glasses of alcohol does it take before you'll have sex with your dad?
What?
And like, what? I would never do that. Exactly. So the alcohol doesn't make you do things you don't want to do. So these people are already violent, and he wants to probably hit you all the time, but the drinking just lets him do shit that he wouldn't otherwise do. It's just like,
he wants
you're
to
not
give you
going
a
to
smack in the
turn.
mouth, but now that he's had a couple of glasses of Jack Daniels, no.
Right. So, but she wants to blame, the police chief wanted to blame the alcohol. And it's like, no, they were already, that guy was on $400 bail for weapons charges that he just got. So he's no stranger to just being out there in the world causing problems. And so an opportunity presented itself and he took it. It's like Randy and I always say, like, if there's a bicycle against the door of the 7-Eleven and you're trying to go in, like, you might think, oh gosh, somebody's going to trip on this. And I might think, like, somebody's going to steal that shit. And a criminal is just like riding the bike away and like his car's left in the parking lot and he doesn't even know why. It's that impulse
and
control.
That goes beyond color. That was a beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Description. It goes beyond color, but look at what they're doing right now. They're highlighting a group of black kids or black people who, correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, because you're a racist. I know you know this number.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. But we're 17% of the United States. 13? Yeah, well, 13% of the United States is African American, which a word I hate. So you have this small group of people attacking the largest cultural group of people, and they're playing that all over the news. I guarantee you, and I'm going to do this because I'm a statistician. I guarantee you there were white kids that jumped a black kid, or white kids that jumped a Mexican kid, or Mexican kids that jumped a black, or you know what I'm saying? They're playing to the political base or the populace. They're saying, oh, well, this small group of people, they're savages. We have to, be in turmoil with them. There's going to be let me mark my words, ladies and gentlemen. And there may be a lot of people that don't like me because I like to laugh and I like to have a good time. I like to pick at my brother Randy. But this serious, I love this man over here. He's my brother. But listen to me on this. You're going to see a whole lot more of this because
together.
No.
There we go. There we go.
Closer.
Give me a fist bump, bro.
You're going the wrong way.
Boom. He's drinking household chemicals, folks. But in all seriousness, mark my words, you're going to see more of these division tactics. You're going to see more of them. This is just the tip of the iceberg. That's why I wasn't.
So really there's got to be some way, because to me, like, I've always been in awe of the Black community, Black culture, because of how you guys can get together for certain things. Now, of course, I've never been.
There's no Black culture to me. I'm from Southern Oklahoma. You know what I mean? I don't know what Black culture is. I grew up with poor white folks, poor Mexicans, and poor Blacks. We all worked on the ranch.
Then we'll just look at the biosphere of Cincinnati, which is boycotting white businesses to only go. I mean, there's definitely Black culture in Cincinnati, and it's gone back to 1981 with this problem. And but so obviously I've never been a Black guy, but I was a punk rocker, and I know that when I was a punk rocker, we used to get followed when we went to the mall. And we would get really bad service when we would go sit and eat at Denny's. And it was because somebody else that represented our group did something at some point. And so that made it we were really hyper vigilant. Like, don't you fuck around, because then it's going to come back on all of us. And I just wonder, like, there have been leaders in the past that have said, we're above this and let's, I think about Martin Luther King, walking in the streets with the ladies with the little gloves and the little hats and the suits and everything. And that was just, it changed the world. And now we have this culture and I didn't want to dime out the place, but if you go, so this fight in Cincinnati happened in front of this bar called Love. And if you go to Google and you go to Love, and you look through the pictures at the restaurant, all Black. The first one is a video of a girl proposing marriage to another girl. And there's a girl holding a sign like, oh, will you marry me? Whatever. And so people are celebrating. It is nothing but tits and ass. And this girl who's getting proposed to, she celebrates by getting up on the furniture and showing her asshole to the camera. And you're just like, what is going on?
Because it's
What is this place?
Marriage to a Christian is a covenant between that man and woman and God. And see, when you bring the divinity of God into it, it makes it something pure. When you get these two women, just like you said, fill in the blanks. But
okay, but I don't need to marry a woman to not show my asshole off.
Well, it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, it's a covenant between a man and a woman and God. Like,
I know,
say two atheists got married, and they're decent citizens, right? They don't want to show their asshole off. That's something that's abhorrent to them. That being said, the reason you're seeing this is for a reason. They want to destroy this country, period. No matter what religious preference you have. They want to destroy the reality of civility.
D, I want to answer something Molly said. I believe because we allowed ourselves to align with white liberalism and white leftism, that because they look at everything as a block, all black people are the same. If you're a black crackhead or a black doctor, they think
that's
you
exactly
are the same thing.
And I'm gonna tell you, since we can swear on this channel, this is something that our brother Steven, who you got to meet, who's an ex-Navy SEAL, who's hard as a coffin nail and twice as tough as the wood it's driven into, he said this to me, and he was talking about the last show we did, and you just reminded me of this, and I'll say this and then I'm out. And this for you, Steven. We need to draw a division line between black folks and niggas. Niggas have been making black folks look bad for a long time. Period. That's just all there is to it. I'm proud to be a black man from the South. I was raised in a two-parent home. My mama was a Sunday school teacher. My daddy worked in the oil field, and he was a sergeant paratrooper. There is a difference. There is. If I was 16 years old, like you see in these rocks, let's take it back further than that. Let's be a little bit more deliberate. Medgar Evers was one of the biggest civil rights leaders in the 1950s. Everybody knows Medgar Evers. You mentioned Martin Luther King. Everybody knows him. Name me the leaders, the black leaders of Black Lives Matter. Name their name. Go.
There were three Marxist lesbians. Patrisse Cullors.
No. Their name.
Patrisse Cullors.
The what?
Patrisse Cullors.
No.
Cull. No, I don't know.
That's not how you pronounce it. That's right, but that's not how you pronounce it. What's the other one? There's 4 of them. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of Medgar Evers?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's way back in the 40s, 50s. Have you ever heard of Martin Luther King?
Yes.
Martin, shut up. The only point I'm trying to make.
Drink your cleaner.
The only point I'm trying to make is when Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King were leading this NAACP or the black movement to get rights. They were actually leading a black community that did not have the right to vote. They did not have the right to come into a restaurant and sit down and eat. We have those rights now. We need to.
What they have on? What they have on? What they have on?
On what?
Their clothing. What was their clothing?
Suits.
What were they holding in their hands?
Not bricks.
What were they holding in their hands?
Oh, yeah, an American flag. That's the thing about it. Thank you for pointing that out. They wanted, as American citizens,
that community,
to have the same rights as every other American, regardless of color. And we can come on here right now with Molly Sleuth because of the sacrifices that were given by those men. Now you have these people who are sucking on the hind tit of the government that just happen to share the same melanin color as us, who have no accountability for their actions, who want to be professional victims. I'm going to tell it like it is because I'm a pastor. That's what it is, bro. And these cats have been giving black folks a bad name since Jesus left Chicago. And unfortunately, since we're only 13% of the population, there's two words I hate put together: black community. I grew up, my mother owning a daycare center and being a teacher at a church, right? I remember these poor white kids that moved in next door. The first day they moved in, she said, hey, you go over there and you talk to those kids and tell them to come to church with us. And they have the Kool-Aid stains around their mouth and whatnot. Poor white trash is what you would call it down in Oklahoma. But guess what? The first day they moved in, that my mama said, you go, and I taught this boy, his name was Sean Pinkston. I taught him how to read. And he went on to have a beautiful family and a good career. My point is this. We've moved past Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King. There's no Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. There doesn't need to be a movement. We have every single right. Let me tell you, I'm Napoleon the Great. My Bible tells me that I'm more than a conqueror. I'm more than Philip of Macedonia and his son Alexander the Great. We are more than conquerors through Christ Jesus. So we have been given that right to excel based on our own merit and our own skills. It's an even playing field. So anybody who's talking this black-white stuff is a rank devil who's trying to divide us, period.
No, I'm just talking about solidarity and community in general.
Well,
that when we're in the middle of a melee in the street, like that our lizard brains are taking over and we're doing stupid shit that gets us on the news, and it's not beneficial to any of us. Like we all need to.
Said it. It's demonic. Nothing less than demonic for people to pull out their phone and to film that poor boy and that poor girl getting jumped. I wouldn't care if they were Guatemalan, black, white, or if it was white people jumping other white people. It's demonic that they couldn't do anything.
D, she's right about our ability to stick together, though. It is amazing the way we are.
No. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that we're wrong. That you were wrong.
No. When I was a cop, I'd work with a white officer, and I'd be like, "Did you know that black guy?" Nope. And that's something extremely blessed and unique about us. When white people see each other, it's kind of like, you're a liberal. Or I remember Molly got cursed out on an elevator in front of me because of something she was wearing. And I'm like, are you guys serious right now? You
want to tell us? Like a toddler.
2001.
I had this like American flag dress and these big bows in my hair. And I obviously looked like I was like,
black folks have been convinced that like we're subjugated and that we're still under some sort of slavery. When in all actuality, unless you're at the tippy top, you are a slave. We're all in it together.
Yeah. Well, the lady was just very angry, and I think she feels that she rises when she pushes others down. And
that lady was a dummy. She was a rank devil dummy.
She has to be herself every day. But I feel like we had a nice talk, though, and I feel that she understood the error of her ways.
This was a black woman?
No, it was a white lady.
I would have said,
and me and Molly got blamed.
Listen here.
Another guy was like, I don't want anything to do with you guys.
That guy was like, what floor are we on?
I hope I wasn't too offensive to your audience. I sincerely love your channel. I think you're doing great work over here. And
thank you, Dee. Please, let's do this regularly. I really like having you on. And
I appreciate that.
And then also, I don't know what happened to I don't know why he didn't come back.
He pissed out. He pissed. Don't worry. I'm gonna call and give him a good cussing.
Okay. Well, thank him too.
No, I'm gonna give him a good cussing.
Andy, friend.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Molly Sleuth. Make sure you hit that like button. Click subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video over all your social networking sites. And come back next time for the lovely Molly Sleuth.
Come in the chat, ask us questions. If you got a good topic and you want to come on the show, we love doing this panel stuff. I just love meeting other people and listening to other people's ideas and stuff.
Molly, look what Randy put. Look what Randy put as his tagline: truth. Randy Agard, truth. He couldn't even.
I should have put lie. I need to talk to him beforehand so I can make mine better.
I mean, just truth. Like you can put more than that. Come on now. But no, in all seriousness, I like to play around and have fun. But you're talking about important stuff, and this has been a great show. I hope I didn't ruin it too much.
You did.
No, love having you on, D.
All right. God bless each and every last one of y'all.
Yep, and I'm Molly Sleuth at Gmail. If anybody has any dick pics that you want to share with me, just kidding. That's all I get. Facebook is a hellhole, let me tell you. Dude, I wanted to tell you so bad about that wasp situation because, like, I literally was so panicked. I ran into my house, and my first thought in my head was, I have to lock the door so they can't come in. That's how freaked out I was. It was so bad. Okay. Have me on. I dare you. Come on. You know where I am. Same bat time, same bat channel. All right, let's take YouTube off so we can get out of here. And but yeah, I'm home like kind of ish all weekend. I'm gonna be painting my house, but look how nice. I have one wall that's sort of faking it, right?
Nice.
And that's if I turn the camera, I've got, oh, hi bunnies. Eventually you'll get to meet the bunnies.